Okay, today was day one of the Mound Septic install. These posts here are essentially laying out where the sand has to go. And the plans dictate having it up to a certain height, certain dimensions for the plans. And there's got to be certain slopes coming down off each side. For this one, I think it's about a 3-to-1 ratio for my slope. It'll probably end up coming down right to the right side of this skid steer when it's all said and done, and then soil will be on top, so soil will be all the way up to here. So we'll have this big old pile up here. It won't look so bad up on the mountain, but if you're living in a flatland type area and you got a big old sand mound, they can be unsightly. I'll probably put clover down and have it be good feed for the deer, kind of blend it in. But basically, I'll need about 10 triaxle loads of this gray sand here. We'll bring that up. We will put our 2B gravel down on top of that. And then we'll put our pipe in there, which, dissipates the fluids, get pumped up from our tanks. Our tanks will be going down here. I already lost my markings, but essentially right here, that's a pile of soil. It's overgrown. So the tanks will be here. Pipe will be coming downhill from the back extension in the house on a slope down to these tanks. Gravity down to the tanks. Tanks where my foot is, and then there'll be a pump that pumps what's in the tank up to the sand mound here. So that's how it will go. And the idea with the sand mound is pumping the fluids up to give it time to dissipate enough to where it's good to enter the soil. You're basically making it so it takes time for it to get into the soil and filtering through this stuff and not just going right into the system. I made it overkill for this size place. We'll have 2 to 3 bedrooms in there depending on how we do it. But this mound will be adequate for a 4-bedroom dwelling. So if we consider the house 2-bedroom and want to build another, thing here, we could always hook it up to this system. We won't need a separate one. So that's it in a nutshell. I'll keep you updated on how tomorrow goes. It'll be a lot more just bringing sand in, truckloads of sand, getting that laid out. Then it'll be the truckloads of the gravel. So it's just a lot of hauling and moving materials around right now. And basically the skid steer and the excavator is enough to do it. Before you put this stuff down, you're supposed to, you kind of just agitate the ground on top. So you take the excavator and you kind of scrape it across. So that was really the excavator, and then just moving the stuff out of this area we did with the excavator. That was about it. And skid steers helped move a lot of the rest. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on how tomorrow goes. This should be about a 5-day project. We'll get some weather in probably halfway through it, so it'll get postponed to next week, I'm sure. But I'll keep you in the loop on how that goes. I'll see you on the next one. So we got 3 more loads of sand coming in, and then after the sand, the gravel will be coming tomorrow. We should have the gravel and the tubes on here as of tomorrow, and then it'll just be after the rain comes for the remainder of the week. Next week we'll dig for the tanks and put those in. Then it's just hooking everything up. Okay, so today we're getting the 2B stone on top of here, leveling it out to grade. He's got the grade stick, making sure it's at the right level. And all the stone that we have here will be all we need to put that on top. And on top of that, our tubes will go on there. And we'll probably end up getting those on a little bit later today. I think we'll need about 3 of them, so you'll see that when we do it. But it's coming to shape. This will be about the size of it, to give you an idea. And we will then use that pile of soil behind the excavator to cover it up, kind of blend it in. I'm going to plant clover on top. But you can see how it slopes down here. So that's basically it. I think it'll end up being in a good spot. We're making good progress. I'll check in a little bit. Here we have the pipes put in on top here. So to get pumped from basically where the excavator bucket is down there up to these drain pipes here, there's holes in the bottom. And the liquid will percolate through the sand mound. Have these verticals for testing head pressure, and have a blowout line. Okay, so this is how we laid out for the inlet to the tanks. Dug this pit, as you can see here. Dug that yesterday, and first tank will go in here. That'll be a solid tank that connects to a tank on the other end. That's the liquid tank. That gets connected up to the pipes I showed before. So the liquid gets percolated into the sand mound. I never planned out where the actual sewage drain line was going to be, so we will use a core drill to get through there and access it that way. But we got it laid out. We got our stone all in here, and next step will be installing the tanks. It's a beautiful morning here. We've got some good weather this week, so hopefully it stays that way. I will check in when the tanks arrive. Okay, the tanks are here. So it's got a crane on the back of that thing. We will hopefully just get that in the pit with the crane. Glad he's backing up so I'll be able to reach it. Not much space to turn around up here. So check in when we're actually doing the lift. Getting the truck balanced, getting the outriggers out. I'm sitting above the pit now. And I think we got a good setup. I think we'll be able to lift them right down in there. Without any hiccups, hopefully. Knock on wood. Got rebar hooks on the top, cased in the concrete. Use that spanner, I-beam spanner to hook onto it, and that's how they'll lift it up. It's pretty smart. How much these tanks actually go for. Pretty neat. Won't want to stand under it though. Pretty cool. I could fill that thing up in a few Taco Tuesdays. Especially if my uncles are over here hunting or something. putting a level on it, making sure it's at the right angle. The tank should sit in there pretty level. It's only the inlet pipe that should be sloped down. Alright, tank number 2. So yeah, that first tank is in there nice and level. And that'll be the solid tank, and now this will be the liquid tank here. No problem. I gotta give me one of these cranes. I'll tell you what, lifting logs with this would be a breeze. Spin. And down we go. Pretty cool. Okay, the second tank wouldn't go in quite level, so we're going to excavate out a little bit, make it a little more even, and drop it back in there and see if we can get it level. So let's see what we can do. Not break my my tank. Reaching down there now, boy. try number 2 then. See if we got it leveled out right. There's a tank set in. The cap's open on the one. We'll hook up the lines now. Gonna put gasket around the edge before we put the cylinder down. They've already connected the 2 tanks there. And then that on the right edges. Putting gasket around this one. It's getting ready to lift it. Sweet. Starting to backfill it in. Got the trench right up to the top of the mound on the other side where it pumps to. Okay, well, I got it graded out last night. You can see it'll be like where our clean out is. You can access it to snake it out. So in the basement wall, we get a core drill to go through there. One is for the actual electric conduit, one for the alarm, one for the power to the pump, and the other is the actual line to the tank. The first stage of the first tank where the solids are good color. You can see 3 manhole type things. It's kind of an eyesore I didn't realize I'd have, but you can always cover them up. I'll make it look nice somehow. But we're off the house about this much. I wanted it to go further over here, but the problem is you need to maintain the angle off the bottom of the house because it's just gravity fed, so from this wall down. And so if I put it over here, the grade goes even higher. So if it was over here, we'd have to have massive stacks to be able to access down in there, because these, they already had to get extensions 3 foot instead of 1 foot, I believe, to go down. I don't know how deep you can get them actually, but oh, getting attacked by a bee. So the first 2 tanks is one tank that's 1250 gallons, and this one is 500. The first stage of the 1250 collects the solids. There's a wall that separates them. The liquid can flow into this other section of the 1250 tank that's connected via a pipe to the 500 gallon tank. The 500 gallon tank's here with the different lid, and that's where the pump is. And the pump is hooked up to a piece of PVC that runs basically right here all the way up to the left side of the sand mound. Over here, so it's under the ground right here. And if you remember from the past video, there was a tube on the ground that stuck out in between those. It's connected to that, and then it flows out through that field of pipe with the holes in the bottom, and the liquid percolates through this whole sand mound. It's a lot of material here, soil on top, at least a foot of the 2B gravel, and a whole heck of a lot of sand. I also don't like these tubes sticking out the top. They needed this to test the system and yeah, make sure water would flow out there. But I'm gonna ask him if I can just cut it flush with the ground, because I don't like having these field goal posts here. But all in all, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it's a big sand mound for sure. But up here on the mountain, it blends in fine. Like I mentioned, if this was on flat ground, it would look ridiculous. But up here, just it looks like the mountain keeps going up. And now I still maintained all this area over here for planting our apple trees and maybe a garden. I wanted to have this space empty to do, at least have somewhat of a backyard. I can plant grass or clover all over here, make it vegetation that deer can eat. So you can basically hunt out my bedroom window. So all in all, it came out good. And like I said, we just have to hook it up to the house. I still need to get the well water onto the house. I have a few things I need to do just for hooking things up to get a plumber and electrician going at full capacity, but I still need to get a roof on this thing. That will be my next endeavor. So I'm working on that. I bought the lumber for it, and I'll be putting the 2x8 roof on top to house the insulation. That'll give me my overhangs and everything. So that'll be next. Stay tuned.